Hello folks and happy holidays. Today we're going to jump in the old Christmas Wayback Machine, set the controls for the glorious year of 1998, and select some hobby loot that we'd like to have from this classic Citadel Miniatures holiday catalog published a quarter century ago. To make the task easier, this 1998 Citadel catalog just happened to have in the back a convenient holiday wish list form that you could fill out and then hand or fax to dear Aunt Emma or whoever so they'd know exactly what to buy you at the local Games Workshop store. I love how the form says, rather bluntly, "Dear potential gift giver, here is a list of some stuff I would love to get my hands on." After which the form conveniently provides several spaces to write down product codes and descriptions, and then at the bottom there's even a line for jotting down the location of the nearest Citadel Miniatures retailer. So nothing is left to chance. I suppose it's a somewhat unsentimental approach to the gift-giving ritual, but I'm sure that Aunt Emma appreciated having a list of product codes in hand when braving the Games Workshop store for the first time. So just for fun, I thought what I'd do today is flip through this classic Citadel catalog from 25 years ago and list a few of the things I wouldn't mind having under the tree myself. Of course, my wish list is completely subjective based on my own personal tastes and preferences, so if there are some different items that you'd put on your list, please tell us about them in the comments section. I'm curious to see what your selections would be. Okay, the rules of the game are as follows. Even though I'm no doubt Aunt Emma's favorite nephew, I'm sure she does have other people to shop for, and she is on a budget. So I'm going to say I can choose only one item from any given spread in the catalog, and that item needs to be something I really want. It shouldn't be something I'm just ambivalent about, and it can't be something I already have. So with that in mind, let's fill out that 1998 Christmas list. So we'll start on pages 2 and 3, which feature a number of Warhammer Fantasy codices on the left, which in 1998 would probably have all been 5th edition compatible, I think. On the top right, we see the Realm of Chaos expansion box set, which is extremely tempting, but I think what I'm going to ask for is the Warhammer Armies Dogs of War book. It's not quite as expensive, and I'm very intrigued by those classic swords for hire. Moving on to pages 4 and 5, we have Bretonnia and the Empire, which puts me in a quandary because I'd certainly like to have an Empire volley gun or a great cannon, but because I went to see Excalibur in the movie theater before I was old enough to see Excalibur in the movie theater, I'm asking Aunt Emma for the glorious Bretonnian Knight Hunting Party box set featuring 500 points of knights and squires, as well as other Arthurian accoutrements. This is a classic set that I'd really like to have in my collection, but even if you can find one now, it's understandably quite expensive. Flipping over to pages 6 and 7, we have High Elves and Wood Elves. If I was starting a Warhammer Fantasy army today, I think Wood Elves would probably be on my short list. They're pretty straightforward: archers, spearmen, treemen, scouts, and the like. Plus the color palette is simple enough I could probably handle it, lots of greens and browns. However, having said that, there's nothing particularly special on these pages that I want at the moment, so we'll just move on. There's only so many lines on the wish list, and I want to save space for anything really good that might pop up. So on pages 8 and 9, we have Warhammer Fantasy Dwarves and Lizardmen. Dwarves, I can take them or leave them, and while I'm a huge fan of the classic D&D Monster Manual Lizardmen from the late 1970s, I don't really care for the Fred Flintstone type GW Lizardmen or the Slann Mage Priest. The one exception, though, would be the Lizardman Croxigore. He's pretty cool. But anyway, it's probably best if we just leave the Lizardmen and the Dwarves to their own devices, wish them happy holidays, and move on to the next pages. So the thing I like about Chaos armies is they are morally unambiguous. They hate everybody equally, they just want to burn everything to the ground, and when they get destroyed, it's no big loss because they had no redeeming qualities anyway. So I have a bunch of Realm of Chaos stuff from the early 90s that I haven't painted yet, so I cannot in good conscience add more Chaos to the list at this point. Though if I did happen to find some of these old metal Chaos Marauders at a garage sale or a swap meet, I'd probably have to pick them up. Okay, we're leaving the Realm of Chaos now and entering the sunless domains of the Dark Elves and the Skaven. So I've been collecting metal Dark Elf figures for a long time. A lot of them are loose, many of them are broken, they're almost all unpainted. So until I address them and kind of take inventory, it's probably best if I don't add to their ranks. The same goes for the Skaven. I have a whole bunch of loose figures I need to get sorted out, but if I did pick some up, I have a special affinity for their wacky Warpstone weapons teams. Moving on to Orcs, Goblins, and Undead, I'm very tempted to ask for some Goblin Spider Riders, though it appears there's some cultural appropriation going on there. But what I'm actually adding to the list, because I think they're neat, are those ghouls at the bottom of the undead page. Even though I have some of the later metal ghouls, I like these guys a lot because they're a little more whimsical, even though they're a bit smaller in scale. So it looks like in 1998, a blister pack of 2 ghouls will set you back $5.99. So maybe Aunt Emma can spring for 5 packs so I can have a full 10 ghoul unit. Moving on to the Dogs of War, everybody's favorite Warhammer Fantasy mercenaries. So there's a lot to choose from on these pages, but I'm going to narrow it down to maybe Bronzino's Galloper guns, because who doesn't like mobile artillery? Or perhaps notorious Paymaster Midas the Mean and his pay wagon, because a mobile treasure chest seems like a pretty good battlefield objective. I'm having a hard time deciding which one of those I want, so I'll have to mull that over and I'll let you know at the end. Moving on to Warhammer Siege, we actually have the older Mighty Fortress, the one that's made out of foam, and quite a few of these siege attackers and siege defenders. So there probably isn't anything on these pages that really meets the criteria of our exercise today, so we're going to move on to the Warhammer 40k section, which surprisingly in 1998 was relegated to the back of the book. So let's see if there's anything here we can't live without. Okay, you're probably going to think I'm nuts, but I've already identified what I want, and it's down there in the lower right corner. It is the original metal Imperial Guard Sentinel, and before this model was available, I believe GW offered a list of bits, a list of different parts that you could buy via mail order and assemble something that was Sentinel-like, though I don't know what that actually looked like. But this was the first actual Sentinel model, and I love it. So Aunt Emma, may I please have a Sentinel or 3 for Christmas, because it hits me right in the feels. Okay, moving on. Sisters of Battle and Eldar. Well, an Immolator would really be nice, as would an Eldar Warwalker, though I think I have one somewhere. But ultimately, I think I'm going to forego anything on these pages, which is crazy because there's some good stuff on here. But the fact of the matter is, I only have one open space left on my wish list, and there's something coming up I really want to nab. And no, it's not Gorka Morka, though that would be awesome. It is in fact an original metal Necron Lord to lead my original metal Necron Raiders, and this is just one of those miniatures I've been looking for a long time. Could never really find one in good condition at a price that, I could justify. So, Aunt Emma, if you're listening, if you're out there, please send me a Necron Lord for Christmas. Okay, so I filled in all the available slots on the wish list, but let's flip over the next page anyway. And if I could pick one more item, one more figure, it would probably be this old metal Carnifex, because he looks round and cuddly like the Pillsbury Doughboy, and you just want to give him a hug. Alright, let's review the old 1998 holiday wish list before we fax it to Aunt Emma. And frankly, I'd be pleased as punch to receive any one of these for Christmas. So let's see what we have here. We have the Dogs of War Codex, the Bretonnian Hunting Party, Ghouls, 5 packs please, though 1 pack would be fine. Dogs of War Midas the Mean rather than the Galloper guns. The Galloper guns were great, but I think Midas would make a great battlefield objective that moves around the table. Then the old Imperial Guard Sentinel and the ancient Necron Lord. Alright, well that was fun. I hope you enjoyed that. And as I said, these are just my personal selections. If you have some different items that you'd add to your own wish list, please let me know in the comment section, because maybe I missed something really good. Thanks very much for dropping by today. I hope we talk to you again before the end of the year, but if not, have a great holiday season, and we will see you in 2024.